Anton Yeltulian Mildanin, and thank you once again for joining me. My name is Lord Aramel, and today we are going to be moving on into the 2nd District, and specifically, we are going to be working on the Bath House. Now this will be a piece that we have appropriated from our time serving as mercenaries with Rome. So this is going to be a Roman-style bathhouse, and it should look pretty nice. Let's begin.
Great.
Oh, and you got shot.
It's fine, because I killed him right as he killed me. So we're good. I'm coming back.
There are quite a few orcs throughout here.
Yes, I have grown tired of their presence.
Good.
And I need a break from mining. That's all I've been doing.
There we go.
Oh. It's not fun when they team up, so it's an archer and a soldier, and can't
Yeah.
be both of them. I can only take one of you at a time.
You would just form an orderly queue, please. For our bathhouse, we will be going for a Thermae or Roman style. And as you have guessed by now, I'm joined by a new friend. This is Claren, and she's new to the server, and she's also one of our recruits. So make sure you give her some extra love. Now we're going to be using a lot of chalk in this build, because the mod unfortunately does not have marble, but I feel like it looks pretty similar, or at least it looks good enough. And we'll be using a lot of it, especially here on the exterior. Especially chalk pillars and these nice stair blocks. And this will be creating the outer facade, as it were. Now using the chalk here, we are creating a nice little entrance courtyard. As you can kind of see, it's going to cut into the center, and here we'll have a nice doorway. I'm not going to make you sit through the entire exterior, because that took a lot of time, honestly. But here you get the rough idea of how the exterior was made and how I went about it. There we go. So much chalk was used in the making of this facade. Like any Roman or Greek, I am a big fan of pillars.
Oh, hello there. Hello there. Do you wish to die today? I've thrown my sword. That was a... Alright, we're good.
Nice.
You want to try again? Or did you... Oh, you didn't die. You... There you are. Whoop. Oh, you're dead. I was having pushing you off the cliff, only to come back up over and over and over. It's also fun that now whenever they see it's like die, and I'm like, oh look, there's an orc. I can tell because it's speaking. Easier spot.
For the entrance courtyard, I decided Sarlewin, smooth Sarlewin half blocks, as well as smooth chalk. Now, together they add a nice amount of variety, and we're going to be sticking with the white and blue theme pretty much throughout the entire build.
So I'm walking along the top of the wall looking for forks, and I came over to this corner, and there's like this open topped room, and there's a rabbit trapped inside.
Oh, at the edge of Narduhal, the castle district.
Yes, I think. Yeah, there's a rabbit.
Rip Rabbit.
Oh.
Here I've added chalk walls around the base of the columns to help give us a bit more variety. There's so many orcs around here. Now there's a bunch of orcs all throughout the bathhouse. This isn't kosher.
On my way. Don't run with swords, kids.
Now, with the base largely created, and after securing the area just a little bit, oh, rip Claren, I wanted to take you over to the only other part of the build in our second district, the Herbalist. Now, this was done by Venus, and I really like what she's done with the place. I think our resident herbalist, Vera, will love it. Now, back to the build. Here you see I've put in the inner wall. I've used Galadrim brick as kind of a not stepping away from the High Elven brick, but giving us a bit of variety. I like the swirls in it. It really feels very bathhouse to me. It also gives us a level of depth, which is very important in every build, as I've been stating throughout this entire series. We're using Dol Amroth gate surrounded by just silver. Here, especially in the corners, we're going to be using Edhelvir, which is, well, to say it's made up is kind of a misnomer, but this was created for the mod specifically. So it's this light blue, gently glowing block, which we'll make good use of throughout the build. Now, it doesn't look as great at the moment, but we're going to fix that also. So we're going to carve into the walls a little bit and replace them with the stair blocks. You note how now you can actually see it glowing a little bit better. Just really quick. I decided to go around and actually replace all of the window blocks eventually, like this. But at the moment, I think I just stick with the front. Yes, eventually, all of the windows will look more or less as such. Here we're separating the interior of the bathhouse into the three main baths that the Romans would have, which would be the caldarium, the hot bath, the tepidarium, which is kind of this kind of warm bath, and then the frigidarium, which would be a rather cool or at least room temperature bath. Now in the back we will have the caldarium and we'll try and figure out an ingenious way of heating up that and make it look really cool. Here I'm just walling off these sections. Now, I'm just going to quickly build these up. Roman baths would be heated by an underground furnace, and from there, basically hot air vents. So that's basically what we're going to do here, except that we have access to, well, effectively magic, which allows me to carry around a bucket of lava just in my bare hands. So, with that in mind, we're going to make this look a bit prettier and then just put in a bucket of lava and some bronze bars. Now, my greatest problem throughout almost every build is the fact that I am, in fact, terribly ADD. So before we do the heating, which would probably be the wisest idea here, is that I'm going to carve out the pool so I know where I'm working with. And this is why. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going for kind of this U-shaped pool for the caldarium, which will let us ostensibly heat more of the water without moving the lava around as much. And it also helps to break up the general monotony of what people would consider a pool shape, in quotation marks. Go gently carving out more space and then cleaning up the sides. Now, in Roman times, they'd have large furnaces, not on top of caves, but whatever. And these would be tended to by slaves. We don't have slaves, but instead I think that an infinitely hot amount of lava will probably keep us nice and toasty regardless. Just going to flip back to the front, scare off some orcs. There are so many orcs in this district, it's actually frustrating. Go. More stairs and some half slabs. Good. Problem with having so many pouches. I forgot to empty my inventory before building. I'm sorry. That places us pretty much directly under the pool. Now, we don't want just this little bit hanging out, so we kind of even that out. And then place a couple entrances. Now, the thing about these pools is that they will be connected. So, you have hot water flowing out from the caldarium to the tepidarium, and from there into the frigidarium. If I was going to redo this build, I would definitely have ways for people to be moving from one pool directly to the next. As you see, it basically turns out that we have it so you would go into a pool, swim around a bit, and then you'd have to get out of the pool and go back out into the hallway and run into the next pool. The wall, probably. Point remains. Here I'm just filling up some spaces so that nothing tries to spawn underneath the pool, which is mainly just annoying. And there's the tepidarium. Nice. Here we've got 2 ways for the water to flow into the frigidarium. Now I decided on building this not just because I'm a big fanboy of Roman history, but for 2 large reasons. One is I recently took a Roman history class, which was great. And as part of, or one of our assignments, we had to design our own bathhouse. And I was thinking to myself, well, the software they have for us to, put this out and actually design it is okay, but I bet you I could make a much better one in Minecraft. So I am. But also, for a more canonical reason, the idea is that one of the groups who most often hires Nardu is the unit of Rome. Because in Daggerhair there is a unit that is Roman. It's actually one of the larger units. And this makes perfect sense, because if there was one thing that the Romans did not have, it was much archery. They generally relied on mercenaries and auxiliary troops. Mercenaries would be called numeri, I believe. Numerii? I don't know. Something along those lines. So, at some point, Aramil and a few other archers, having been hired by Rome, would have come across a Roman bathhouse. Or as I think I mentioned earlier, a thermae. And, I mean, I really like the idea, so here we are, recreating it with our own bit of Nardu flair. And now we get this lovely point where I get to play with water. We have dug out our baths, and now we get to fill them. Unfortunately, there isn't any actual mechanical difference between temperatures of water. And I can't very well depict the differences either. So it's tricky, but you'll see how through certain types of decoration we come across and give the idea of hotter and cooler water. Now this room we're going to make into kind of a changing room. Bring in a nice pillar there in the center. Now, I don't know if we would follow the Roman traditions of bathing nude or not, so I'm just going to leave that option up to the people in the bathhouse and kind of leave that a very, I guess, an unanswered question. Put in a couple gate windows for a hint of privacy. And accidentally place one. There we go. Much better. Now we need to finish filling in these pools after I get in some actual doors. Well, archways. And of course, we'll be topping them off with upside down stairway blocks because that's almost cliche at this point in the build, and well, we definitely have a theme. We're going to keep going. Perfect. There we go. Just use a couple of these extra blocks I have on hand and finish up the archway. Nice. The original idea was to have that as that little room as kind of a sitting area / library, because a lot of Roman bathhouses would have libraries and gymnasiums attached to them. As, you know, just a generalized recreation facility. Now, having gone around and replaced all the windows with more stairway blocks, and now having heated the caldarium, we'll start to play with water, and I'm going to cut away here and finish this up. Alright, putting in a bit of lighting. Good. Oh, you can see all the pools are now full. And we need to add in some more lighting, because I'm sick of having orcs spawn in the bathhouse. That moment when you realize you're the only person on the server. Now here, we've finished up the exterior, placing in this nice blue fine glass. And we're going to open up these doorways by using wall blocks. Unfortunately, I can't really do math, so I should have made twice as many, but whatever, it's fine. Oh. Go. Perfect. Now we have blue fine glass for the tepidarium. And for the frigidarium, we will have this light blue glass, as well as having light sources in the pools themselves that will help to denote the temperature. So here we're going to have a couple glowstone blocks with light blue glass on top of them. There we go. Perfect. So this helps to light up the room and gives it the proper ambiance. Unfortunately, there was a hole there, so it went a block deeper than I wanted. But that's no problem. We're going to turn to having a little bit more Adhelvir blocks. I keep wanting to call it Quendite, which is what it was called in a previous update. But no, it is Adhelvir. And we're going to use red fine glass for our caldarium. Dun, 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 dun. Marvelous. Now I just wanted to expand this pool a little bit more, because as it was kind of small. And I get it, kind of a hot tub feel, but hard to say how many people would be using the baths at any particular time. So wanted to have plenty of room for people. Now, for the caldarium, we're also going to use beacon blocks underneath this red stained glass. And that should give us a nice ambiance as well. Unfortunately, I messed this up ever so slightly, as you note. And there we go. And unfortunately, this means I can't get out. So I have to make use of teleporting. But that's fine. And jump on back down into a hole. And teleport out once again. Perfect. And I managed to not see the flint and steel that was in that chest and have to make a new one. Genius. And once again, fall into a hole and have to teleport out. Ah. Go. Oh, very nice. And I was going to put a block of Durnar there, and somehow I managed to pick the exact spot that has our obsidian. Well, what's now obsidian. Oh, hello, Claren. So at some point, I'm going to replace that. So here, explaining to Claren uh, how the pools work. There we go. Separating out the changing rooms just a little bit. Up until now, I've been working off of this prototype that I made on a creative build world that's just one story. But between Claren and Ashenra, I was thinking about making a second floor. We'll see that built in the next episode. Uh, Here, I'm just talking about the auxiliary parts of a bathhouse. The second floor will include a gymnasium as well as a nice little park area. And Claren will be here to help us with that as well. Yeah, I think the library deserves to be a separate building. Though, who knows? Maybe we'll attach them by, like, some sort of over road paths. That's not a bad idea, actually. And there we have it, folks. The first floor of the bathhouse and the actual bathing area. As I mentioned to Claren just a moment ago, I'm thinking of including a gymnasium up top. Uh, that's pretty historically accurate. And who knows, maybe a garden or something similar. Alright, well, until next time, thank you for joining me. I've been Lord Aramil, and farewell.